Welcome to Roadmap, how to take 3 listings a week until you're ready for more. Each week we interview a great agent who is consistently taking 2, 3, 4 listings a week, and we have an exciting guest today. We encourage you to take notes and apply as much of their knowledge as quickly as you can, and then use the copycat principle. If you're watching on Vulcan 7 or on the Lead Gen Facebook group, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions during the broadcast. Please get your questions in early. All righty. Let me introduce my co-host from San Diego, Carly Hathaway. That's carlyhathaway.com. Hi, Carly. How's the real estate business?
Hi, Ren. Real estate is great, as always. Seller's market, great time to be a listing agent. Beautiful sunny San Diego, cannot complain.
I know, you've got the weather. You've got that covered for darn sure.
Yep.
So before I introduce our guest today, I want to remind everybody that we are simulcasting the show on the private Lead Gen group on Facebook. They have 49,000 members, so we have a large audience there today as well. We will be pausing for a commercial message during the show as a thank you to the Lead Gen folks. Let's welcome our guest today from Shreveport, Louisiana, Steven Futch. Hi, Steve. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. My privilege. Thank you.
I'm excited.
Hi, Steven.
Hello.
I'm excited you're here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you.
Oh, it's a privilege. Thank you for inviting me.
I did some homework, Steve. I did it on a couple items. One, you were in the Marines for a long period of time, a couple active tours of duty, combat tours. My goodness. Vietnam, Desert Storm. How long were you in the Marines?
28 years.
28 years.
Yeah, I almost made a career of it.
Well, there's a little bit of a discipline there that you obviously carry into real estate, I would assume. Self-discipline. That speaks volumes. And then I did a little bit of homework, and I found a couple quotes. May I read them?
Certainly.
Well, this one was from about 5.5 years ago. This was from Gary Keller. I guess you were on stage at Family Reunion. Was that correct?
That's correct.
And Gary said that you had listed more for sale by owners in the past 5 years than any other agent in the United States.
Is that
true?
That was true at that point, yes.
That was true at that point.
Amazing.
And then 5 years ago, Mike Ferry said that you are one of the best, if not the best, listing agent in the country today. That was true then?
Well, we'd all like to think so.
Did you flip? you haven't taken a step back since then, have you?
Not at all, no.
Good, I didn't think so. So there's going to be a lot of fun things to learn here. And we're going to try to get Steve to work with us on a couple role plays because his role plays are unbelievable.
Nice.
Good. Well, what's the goal for this year, Steve?
This year, I'm really focused on getting my coaching and speaking business up to par. I'm looking at probably only 75 transactions this year.
75 transactions this year because you're doing a lot of coaching and speaking. What was the biggest year you ever had when you were just doing sales?
2009, I actually listed over 300 in 1 year, and I had 197 closed sales that year.
Wow.
That's amazing. 197 closes.
So you know how to rock and roll here. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good deal. Fantastic.
So what do you think sets you apart from other agents?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It would have to be,
I know it's a pretty broad question, but
it would just have to be focus and work ethic. I think any of us are capable of outworking the competition. It's all a matter of mindset. And as you well know, this entire business is 90% mindset. We have to constantly be working on keeping our mindset strong, positive, and winning. And besides that daily maintenance to stay strong, positive, and winning, we're constantly expanding our mindset. We have to be growing it. It's like anything else. Once the growth ceases, then you stagnate. You're constantly looking for people that you can talk to learn from, reading new books, listening to seminars like the one we're in now to gain new knowledge. You never stop learning and you never stop growing.
Awesome.
that's great advice.
Well, the mindset combined with action. So there's some action you're taking every day because you're still selling a lot of real estate as well as speaking teaching and whatnot as well. So
Correct.
what does that look like? How do you start your day?
I start my day with my workout. That's a long ingrained habit. First thing in the morning, you get up and you do your physical workout. It cleanses the body, it refreshes the mind, and it also gets it off your mind. There's nothing worse than missing your morning workout and then trying to figure out where you're going to plug it in the rest of the day. And typically you don't get to it because you get overwhelmed with other things. So get up and get that done first. That's get into a routine, get into a habit.
Okay.
Everything should become routine. Everything should become habit.
Mhm.
Then there, go right into your lead generation and your lead follow-up.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So then,
So after your morning workout, which cleanses you and makes you feel amazing, gets you ready for the day, what's next on the agenda? What time do you get to the office? What's the first step? Do you role play? Do you lead gen? Kind of walk us through a day?
I have role play every morning,
Mhm.
and I have different role play partners, and I change role play partners every 90 days. I think
that's
that
smart.
you can tap out with anybody after 90 days. You're going to learn anything that they can teach you, and you will have passed on anything of value to them within 90 days. So
he's not telling the truth, Carly. He was a role play. He and I role played for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, he dumped me.
Aw, Ren.
True story.
Yeah.
It's a really fast
I think that's a great takeaway because it's too easy to get comfortable with your role play partners and it almost gets to the point where it's easy, and that's not what we want to do.
And then your role play is your warm up to go right into your lead generation.
Mhm.
And I'm going to hit the new expireds first.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to shift right into the for sale by owners. And then my 10 database calls that I'm going to make every day to people in my database to keep up with that. And then go right in after a short 15-minute mindset and refreshment break. Right after that, go right into your lead follow-up. That's where most people drop the ball. They don't follow up.
Wait, what? Well, mindset and refreshment break. What does that look like? I get the refreshment part, but the
I know, I was like,
mindset.
are you meditating? What are you doing there?
Well, everybody needs to go to the bathroom. Everybody needs to make a personal call. Everybody needs to check their emails. Everybody needs to just relax for a moment and just calm yourself in order to focus and then start over again. You can do all of that in 15 minutes or less.
Okay. I like it.
Make a huge difference in how you perform immediately after that.
Yeah. Okay. And so you're starting with new expireds, then FSBOs, and then you go to your database. What do you like to talk to your database about? Because that's an easy call because you can even leave a voicemail. But are you passing along information?
Yeah. Who do you know that needs to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate? It's just keeping in touch because everybody knows somebody 2 to 3 times a year who needs to buy, sell, or invest. And unless you're calling them and asking them, you're not going to find out about it.
Agreed. Great advice.
Now, you watch a lot of agents, and you're always very helpful. You're a big give back guy for as long as I've known you. And so when you look at people that are, and they're watching this show, they're only taking 2 listings a month, 3 listings a month, 4 listings a month, 5 listings a month, and they want to add an extra 3 or 4 a month. They want to get to 8, 10, 12 a month. You know, where are they falling down? Where are 2 or 3 things they could do that they could write down right now and then just go, yes, that'll work, and go for it? What are they missing?
Well, typically you need to get your skill level up. The level of skills across the board in the real estate industry is dismal. Most people don't know what to do and they don't know what to say. And that's why I'm so passionate about the speaking and the coaching, because it allows me to teach agents what to do and what to say on a daily basis in order to become productive. The first thing I would say is to become well scripted. If you're just winging it and you're not using good scripts, then you're not going to be competitive with those of us who are. We know from study after study after study that the well-scripted salesperson is far more effective and far more productive than someone who's just winging it. And that's unfortunately what most untrained agents tend to do. They tend to blah, 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 rather than asking a structured list of questions. And that's what a script is. It's a series of questions in a specific order that's designed to pre-qualify that prospect and get you to the predictable end that you want to get to, which is setting that appointment.
Yeah,
there's such a resistance to scripts, which is so funny, the canned presentation, but my dentist uses a script, follows a script. The pilot follows a script. It'd be scary not to follow a script.
So when they first start using scripts and they're first starting to call, how long do you think they should practice the scripts daily in the beginning? Like an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours?
Well, I'm going to say the absolute minimum for daily practice is 30 minutes. An hour is obviously twice as good.
Okay.
Absolute minimum is going to be 30 minutes.
Okay.
If you're not willing to spend 30 minutes a day to raise your level of skill, let's take the entire real estate industry and boil it down to its lowest common denominator. Talking to people about real estate in a question-based format all day, every day, or for a minimum of 2 hours. We've found also in the industry that a full-time agent who's not willing to lead generate a minimum of 2 hours a day is probably not going to be competitive in their market. So if you're not willing to learn some scripts or use some scripts and do it for 2 hours a day, you might think about doing something else.
So minimum of 2 hours a day. And there are a lot of people watching right now that are sporadic. They don't do 2 hours a day every day. They, maybe that's on their best day. What do you say to them? You said it. They should find something else to do. How do you wrap your head around the discipline on the days you don't want to feel like it? Because you talk about mindset. How do you do it on the days you don't feel like it? There are a lot of people watching that want to know the answer to that.
It's called structure. You have plan, you have purpose, you have commitment. Those three things are the definition of structure. When you get up in the morning, there shouldn't be any doubt in your mind about what your day holds. If you have that plan and you have that purpose and you have that discipline to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, then you'll do that 2 hours of lead generation. Look at the 8 to 5 factory line worker. You think that worker's excited about getting up and going and standing on the assembly line for another 8 hours? No, but they do it anyway because they know that the reward at the end of the week is a huge union scale paycheck.
And in our business, it's a really big check. So
exactly. No one gets paid the hourly rate or the weekly rate that we get paid when we actually show up and do what we're supposed to do.
What about accountability? Did you, with 28 years in the Marines, that's probably not anything you need as much as a lot of people do. What about the accountability factor? Accountability partners, meeting people, calling before and after your role play, your prospecting session. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's the biggest challenge in our industry. As you know, there is no accountability in real estate. When's the last time you heard of a broker firing an agent because they didn't show up by 9 in the morning, or because they went all week without setting an appointment, or because they went all month without doing a single transaction? Never happens.
No, not as a broker, no.
You're on your own. However, you're never going to grow and mature and build the level of skill that you need without some accountability. And the best way to get that accountability, as both of you know, is to have a coach, because the coach will provide that accountability that you cannot and will not get at your brokerage or from your fellow agents.
Agreed.
Good.
So it sounds like so you have your plan every morning, you go to the gym, you start calling. What's your purpose?
My purpose is to continue to hone my skills and to set appointments. The only reason that you're doing lead generation and lead follow-up is to set appointments, because that's the only thing that gets us paid. So if you're doing it for any other reason, just to socialize or just to kill time, you're probably not doing it at a high level. You constantly keep in mind that your purpose is to set an appointment.
Okay.
Can we move? I wanted to chat shift just slightly to for sale by owners because it's always been one of your strengths. And every once in a while, I meet somebody that's taking 6, 8, 10 or more listings a month from for sale by owners as a category. Not many of you out there, and you are one of them that is just incredible with for sale by owners. When you're asking them questions, what are you looking for that helps you focus in on that particular for sale by owner that you know you got a hot one? You know, what are the criteria? Because a lot of people talk to for sale by owners that are not that motivated and don't get anywhere.
Well, that could be a misconception.
Okay.
All of them are motivated to some degree.
Okay.
Otherwise, they would not have that sign in the yard. People don't put signs in the yard that say, hey, I want to sell this home, unless they really want to sell that house. So there's a lot of smoke screen going on with a lot of for sale by owners. They try to be vague. They try to be ambiguous. They will attempt to hide or camouflage their true motivation. And that's normal. You just don't buy into it. Keep going through your script questions and keep closing for the appointment. Their motivation over time is going to incrementally increase until finally that scale tips your way and they're ready to list with an agent. The National Association of Realtors last year said that 94% of for sale by owners listed with a broker within 90 days. So what does that tell us?
94%, really?
That's nationally. It might be different in different markets. But
yeah.
So what do we know from that? That means that we know them better than they know themselves. When they're never going to list with an agent, they really mean it. But you and I know that that's going to change over a period of days, weeks, or months.
Well, can we do a little role play with you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Great.
Let's do a FSBO role play.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You want to call me? Yeah. Give me a call.
Yeah. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Steve with Keller Williams. Calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
It is. Do you have a buyer for me?
Actually, I work with a number of buyers at all times, and I'm really excited about getting your home sold. So let me ask you, when I sell your home, where are you moving to next?
You know, we're okay staying here, but we would like to move to New York.
New York, that's exciting. And how soon would you like to be there?
Sorry, can you say that again?
I said, that's exciting. How soon would you like to be there?
You know, we're not in a rush. I just want to get the right price for my home. So again, if you have a buyer, feel free to bring them. But, you know, I really have to get going now.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I intend to do, is bring you a continuous stream of qualified buyers seeking to buy in the immediate future. That's what you want, right?
Yeah. At the price that I want. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'd like to come by and preview your home this afternoon, 3 to 5 minutes, so you can show me the features and benefits. I'm available at 3 or again at 5, which is better for you.
Are you going to be bringing one of your buyers?
No, I can't sell it. I can't show anything to a buyer until I know what I'm showing.
Oh.
Have you ever bought a pair of shoes without trying them on?
No, especially the shoes I wear. They're big girl shoes.
Yeah, and I don't get married without going on at least one date. And I've never sold a home unless I've actually seen it.
Oh, okay.
Would it be okay if I'm able to articulate the features and benefits of your home to a number of buyers?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fantastic. Which is better for you, 3 or 5?
5 would work.
5, great. Now, before I come out, there are a number of questions I need to ask you, and I go right into my pre-qualifying script.
Okay, great. I think that was great. I like that you just kept moving it along, like you wouldn't stop.
Yeah, I don't want to let it bog down at all.
And what are some really big red flags when you pre-qualify? Like, what are some really big things you're looking for that would stop you from going on the appointment?
Pricing, primarily pricing. I can get any home sold if it's competitively priced.
Right.
What they need to understand, and what I hopefully will cause them to understand, is that no buyer is going to pay more than market value for anything, and that goes for homes also. So I want you for one moment to step out of your shoes and step into the shoes of the buyer. Would you pay what you want to price this home at if you were buying a home today, or would you pay less for one down the street that's very similar?
I would pay less for one down the street.
And so would all the other buyers. So do you see that we have a choice here? we can price competitively and get showings and offers, or we can price above the market, get very few showings, no offers. And you know what we'll be doing when we do that?
What?
We'll just be helping everyone else get their home shown and get them sold. Now, do you want to get yours sold, or you want to help everyone else get theirs sold?
I want to sell mine.
Fantastic. Sign the contract.
Sign the contract.
Good deal.
Good. I like it.
So I think most people get wound around the axle with for sale by owners is handling objections. They have a deep fear of getting objections that they can't handle. They don't have the confidence because they haven't been practicing objection handlers, and they get bogged down and get taken off script.
Yeah.
And once you're off script, then the FSBO's in charge.
Yes, I agree. Because you start flustering and you don't know what you're saying. And yeah, I agree. So I feel like the biggest objection with FSBOs is I'm not paying a commission. I am not paying a commission. I'm not paying a commission.
Yeah, well, I can appreciate that you don't want to pay a commission. If you could get more money at closing by hiring a professional and paying the commission than you'll get by selling it yourself without a commission, would you want that additional money at closing?
Yes.
I think you deserve that money, and that's why you and I need to meet immediately. You see, I specialize in getting homes shown and getting them sold for the most the buyer's willing to pay. And moreover, I'm going to protect your equity through the negotiations and maximize your net proceeds at closing. Now, if I can't bring you an offer that nets you more after the commission than you'll get on your own, I'm not going to expect you to accept it. Therefore, you're in a win-win, no-lose situation. I'm going to spend my time, my money, commit the resources of my entire company to find you the highest and best offer in this market. Isn't that what you really want?
Definitely.
You still want to be in New York as soon as possible, right?
Honestly, I do. Yes.
That's exactly why people like you hire me. I'll see you at 3 o'clock.
Sounds good.
There we go.
That was great.
Yeah, this is wonderful. And, you know, and I could see, especially someone newer in the business or newer to for sale by owners, taking this video because they're going to get a copy of this and they can watch it, playing that like over and over again, this section of it, that role play 10, 15, 20, 25 times, because a lot of things that you used in there are very disarming for that seller.
Well, I use a lot of neuro-linguistics programming, commonly known as NLP, and it totally goes right through to their subconscious mind without any resistance. Their subconscious mind is where all sales decisions are made. So you're not really talking just to a person, you're talking to that person and their subconscious mind, and you're intentionally programming it to agree with you.
That's fantastic. And you teach that in your coaching and training and seminars, is that right?
Yes, I'm a certified NLP instructor. Yes.
How do you know, and I forgot to do this at the beginning, and I always do, is you're in Shreveport, so if anybody wants to send you a referral or get in touch with you for anything you're doing, how's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
I currently have a new website being built, but my current website is simply stevenfutch.com. And you can contact me very easily through that simple contact.
STEV is in Victor, ENFUTCH.com, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We got a few questions here. Well, Deb, she wanted to provide your FSBO script. He just did it. So play it over and over, Deb. Everyone calls for sale bonus and expireds. When is the best time to call? I think that's morning, right? Or you do anything outside of the first thing in the morning, or do you?
Oh yeah, I do a lot of door knocking, especially now that the time has changed between 5:30 and 6 p.m. right on up to around 8 or 8:30 before it gets dark is premium door knocking time, because most people, A, are home from work, B, they're far more relaxed and apt to get in conversation with you.
And when you're door knocking, are you saying pretty much the same stuff that you would say over the phone?
Actually, I have a little bit different introduction. Hi, I'm Steve with Keller Williams. I'd like to apply for the job of getting this home sold. Are you the owner? And then go right into the script from there. It's a little bit different introduction. I want them to know immediately that I am who I am what I am, and I'm here for a purpose. I want to apply for a job, and that's what that is.
Yeah. Do you bring anything with you when you door knock? Flyers or?
Question. Yes, I have a little packet that has 4 things in it every single time. Number 1, the market statistics. They have no idea what's going on in the market. They have no idea what the challenge is. And when I start giving them the market statistics, you can see them getting sober. You can see them realizing that, oh my gosh, I had no idea what I was up against. The second thing I want is to give them my plan of action. I want them to know that I have a specific, proven, effective plan of action that's going to get their home sold if it's priced competitively. The third thing that I give them is a list of references. The people on this list, like you, were total strangers, and like you, they had their homes for sale by owner. They opted to list with me. I would invite you to call any or all of them to check on my sales performance and my customer service. That third-party validation is invaluable.
Yeah.
You're not going to convince them of very many things because they see you as a, when they get it from an independent third party, it's you. And then last but not least, I want to present them with a copy of my daily schedule. Mr. and Mrs. FSBO, if you were to consider hiring an agent, wouldn't you want to hire someone who's engaged in productive activities all day long to get your home sold? Well, yeah, we wouldn't hire anybody unless they were going to do that. Fantastic. This is my daily schedule. What time do you have right now? Well, it's 3:30 on Thursday afternoon. And let's take a quick look at my schedule. It says here at 3:30 on Thursday afternoon that I am prospecting for sale by owners and expireds or on a scheduled appointment. Then I look up, I give them strong eye contact. I'm smiling, I'm nodding affirmatively. Mr. and Mrs. FSBO, can you see that I'm doing exactly what my schedule says I'm supposed to be doing when I'm supposed to be doing it? Well, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Woo!
If you can find another agent in this market who even has a schedule, much less who's on schedule, I'm going to recommend that you interview them. Until then, I'd like to earn your business.
These are great dialogues. This is fantastic.
Yeah. This will be great for people to rewatch a couple times.
Yeah. Ray wants to know, what the follow-up is. If you don't get the appointment when you call them the first time, are you emailing, mailing, calling, what's follow-up look like?
It's a great question. Hot leads have to be followed up with immediately on a daily basis. Now, for sale by owners typically are not hot leads, they're long-term leads. My average is 6 weeks to get one listed. That means 6 weekly visits or 6 weekly phone calls. So what it boils down to is that successfully pursuing and listing for sale by owners is being the last agent standing. How many agents do you know that are going to follow up 6 consecutive weeks, once a week, in order to get a listing? Very few. So if you're willing to do long-term, consistent, systematic follow-up, you can definitely get them listed.
Perfect. That's a good recipe for success. Deb Reagan wants to know, what are your thoughts on FSBOs, for rent by owners?
For rent by owners?
Yeah, do you call them?
When I call or knock on rentals, I ask them if they would consider selling it rather than renting it.
Okay.
If the answer is yes, then I go right into the script. If the answer is no, then I thank them and move on.
What if they're not home? Do you leave a package of information at the door? That's from Heath Kobelin wants to know that.
Typically, the only thing I'll leave is the market stats with a handwritten note on the back, so that they know that I came by and they know that I wanted them to know what's going on in the market.
Nice. Good. Do you pre-qualify always before meeting them at the property? Is that correct? According to Jay Nowakowski wants to know that. Do you always pre-qualify before you go over there?
I always pre-qualify before I go on an appointment unless it's strictly a preview appointment. Sometimes you have to kick the door. You have to get your foot in the door before you can set the appointment. I had one just the other day. The guy was giving me a really hard time about coming by and just looking at the home. And I finally asked him, I said, do you give all prospective buyers the same challenge just to even look at your home? I mean, how many people are going to buy your home without looking at it? He said, well, you're not a buyer, you're a real estate agent. And I said, well, I actually own 63 properties right now. I'm constantly buying and selling properties. Who knows that I might be the next buyer for your home.
Nice.
So again, may I come by at 3 this afternoon, 5 minutes or less, so you can show me the outstanding features and benefits of your home.
I love it. I love it.
It's a good way to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, you have some great dialogues with those for sale by owners. I mean, it's just logic. But I know it took you a few years to really get all of that down smooth, but you've been doing it very well for a long time. This has been a real treat. I really appreciate it. And so if any of you want to, I've got to read a couple things, but reach out to Steven Futch on his website, Steven Futch, StevenFutch.com, to ask a question or learn more about where he's going to be speaking next, or whatever that might be, or whatever it may be. I have to do a little thank you to the Facebook group, Lead Gen. 49,000 members. If you're watching and want to get involved with them, go to facebook.com/groups/got objections. And I want to thank Aaron Wittenstein, who he's a real giver. He runs that group, and he runs expiredmasteryelite.com. And finally, if you're watching on Facebook and you're not involved with Vulcan 7 to get great for sale by owner leads and expired and everything else, go to vulcan7.com/lead gen for a special price. And then, of course, like Steve, if you've done your job, you've made a lot of calls and you set appointments, and you've really had a powerful day. You got your exercise in first thing. The most important thing you're going to want to do is go to the refrigerator, actually go to the freezer and get some delicious Grater's mint chocolate chip and spoil yourself. You need a treat. You need to, reward yourself so you have a purpose for the next day. And we all need a purpose. Maybe yours isn't Grater's, but mine is. Appreciate everybody for being here. And we'll see you guys next week when we have another exciting guest. I want to thank you again, Steven. This has been a treat. This has really been valuable information. People are going to play this over and over and over. And I'm sorry, a lot of people are going to be reaching out to you. And I hope that's a good thing. But I just have a funny feeling.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Steven. It's been a real pleasure. We really appreciate it.
I won't forget it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steven.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.